good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. It is the Ron Van Dam Show. I am Ron Van Dam. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for going to your living rooms to watch this. I appreciate that. Those of you that aren't familiar with the show, let me explain what's going on here. This is an intelligence test. I will read 50 questions that involve calculus and scientific theories, and then I will tell you how smart you actually are. Actually, that's not happening. I do this show on the radio and on podcast platforms every single weekday, a new show. We've done over 2,400 of them, 2,400. And then I was doing broadcast radio since 1990, still doing that on a syndicated basis. That's a little background on me. How about you? What have you done? Oh, really? They let you do that? Seriously? When did you start doing that? That's disgusting. Are you kidding me? All right, never mind. Forget it. Anyway, so that's my background. Once a week, I come into this studio and I do on television what I do in the radio studio, which is just sit there and talk. For some reason, people thought it would be interesting to see me move my mouth and perhaps some of my hands every once in a while. So that's why we do this visually. Otherwise, there's no point to this whatsoever. Why do I do this show? Because there are observances in life, hard to say, but easy to see. There are observances in life that we all go through, but we don't talk about them. That's my job. If I can just change one person's life, and if I've made a difference in one person's life, then I would have made a difference in one person's life. Was I put on this planet to make a difference in one person's life? No. I was put on this planet to make no difference whatsoever. But if I can just take one person's life and give it a purpose, then I've gotten one person's life to have a purpose. Okay. It is the new year, depending on when you're watching this, and it's the old year, whatever. I don't know. I did make a New Year's resolution to lose weight. I do this every year. I've been doing this ever since I was born. I remember when I was about 6 months old, I was obsessed with getting my weight down to 5 pounds, 2 ounces. Didn't even reach that goal at that age. So it's been tough. It's been tough. So what I do is, well, by the way, I am older than 20 years old. I know you can't tell that, but I'm older than 20 years old. And when I hit, I think it was 40 years old, my doctor said to me, you have to be careful now. All that fooling around you did with your little fun things, you're eating and you're drinking and all that that's got to stop. It's got to stop. You have to now become healthy all of a sudden. She said that I had pre-diabetes. I said, what does that mean? She said, well, that means someday you could get it. You could have it someday, maybe. That's pre. So I've been consciously trying to cut out most sugars. So I go for those drinks. You know, American people are very, very funny. They're a riot, to be honest with you. You have these exorbitant dinners with cooked in fat, and fried, and there's hard sweet desserts, and I mean, American diet is just horrible. But when you go to the restaurant and you order all these extravagantly horrible things that can kill you in a second, you also order a Diet Coke. That somehow balances out the fried chicken and then the greasy burgers. Yeah, but a Diet Coke, please. Oh, okay, you're certainly taking care of your health. Yeah, trying to cut down on sugar. So every once in a while, and some of these dietetic drinks here, that apparently have little sugar or no sugar whatsoever, there's like chemical sugars in it. So they're going to get you one way or the other. So when I go shopping there, I look for the beverages that say no sugar. First it was no sugar added. Then I realized that's not doing anything. So I go for no sugar. Also, I go for sugar-free. Now they've come out with a new phrase for the lack of sugar, which is so adamant that I prefer this. I buy the product that says 0 sugar. Not only is it sugar-free or have no sugar, I'm talking 0. I'm talking numbers. It's 0. It's just there aren't too many words that begin with Z. 0 is one of them. No fooling around with this word. Sugar, 0. Minus even. The sugar that's not there, we didn't even put it there, even if we could put it there, and it's even 0 from 0 and minus 0. So anyway, I go for the 0 sugar because there's no arguing. It's by the numbers. It's 0, man. It's not my interpretation of no or it's 0. The only artificial sweetener, I guess, that I could do is stevia. Have you heard of this guy? Stevia. I thought Stevie Nicks invented this, but apparently that's not the case. Stevia apparently is some plant that's only found on the northern edge of the Himalayan mountains. I really don't know where this stuff comes from. It's not like growing marijuana. What are you doing in your backyard? Growing stevia on the black market. I don't know where the stevia comes from. I have no idea. I mean, I hope it's not like spring water, like spring water is really water coming from somebody's bathtub. I hope stevia isn't just like plants in somebody's backyard, that's weeds or something. But apparently it's a sugar substitute, and apparently that's okay, although probably in 10 years the scientists and the nutritionists will come out with, that stevia thing we said was natural, it'll kill you. Sorry. So that's what I'm trying to do, losing weight has nothing to do with being healthy and looking better. It has more to do with discipline. And once you can conquer that, but see, that's not even good enough. Losing weight is not even good enough. Even if you decide to lose a certain number of pounds and you get down to the pounds, you have to reach sustainability in the sense that you got to keep the weight off on a regular basis. And that just is very, very difficult. Do you watch The Price is Right with Drew Carey? Of course you don't. Who does? Drew Carey was rather rotund. He was rather overweight. Then somehow, I don't know, it was through surgery or the way he ate or something, he lost like 2,000 pounds. And people who lose a lot of weight, they think they look really good because they've lost weight. They look like they're sick. Because it's the comparison. We're so used to seeing them fat and jolly, and all of a sudden they're skinny and emaciated. They look like they're on their deathbed, but they feel great. So anyway, he lost a lot of weight hosting The Price is Right. Everybody was like, whoa, it's amazing. She looks great. Almost a decade later, no, not all the weight is back, but we're on the road back to fat. I'm telling you, the hardest thing is to keep the weight off. So it's very, very difficult. And I've been talking to many experts on my radio program about nutritionists and all that. And it's, diet and exercise. It's not even so much exercise, it's diet. You don't have to work the pounds off like that if you didn't have the pounds in you to begin with have to worked off. Exercise is good. Helps you move your bowels and the rest of your body too. But it's what you put in your mouth, man. That makes all the difference. So I've been doing a lot of interviews about that. That's at the top of my mind these days. Thanks for asking. Thanks for your interest in me. I don't know. Things are a little weird. I went to one of those Dunkin'. You ever hear of Dunkin' Donuts? They sell donuts and coffee. Have you been in one of these places? There was a lady in front of me. Apparently, she was getting a dozen donuts, and she was well dressed, so I figured she was getting them for some type of an office meeting. By the way, the only kind of office meetings that have donuts and coffee, they're sales meetings. Yeah. I'll get into that in a second. But this lady was going, give me 2 of the powdered, and give me, and the person behind the counter said, okay, 2 powdered, what else? Give me the 2 chocolate frosted. Okay, fine, 2 chocolate frosted. Okay, now we're down to 10 donuts, so 2 more. 2 jelly donuts. And the person behind the counter said, seriously? Jelly donuts, man. Some people still eat those. You might even be a person that loves a jelly donut. It's a very, very odd concept. Because a jelly donut cannot be eaten. It's not made to be eaten. It's filled with stuff inside, namely jelly, that upon the first bite will explode all over the place. There'll be jelly spread around for miles. And it's usually red jelly, which kind of looks like somebody was just shot in the chest. It's a very disgusting food stuff. It's horrible. And I think the reason that people get jelly donuts and bring them to sales meetings is to, I don't know, just to punish these people somehow. Yeah, every time I see a jelly donut, I figure somebody is out for revenge. I worked for a company for about a decade when I was younger. I was a distribution manager for a company, and they had a sales force of about 8 or 10 salespeople. It depended on how many they fired in 1 week. Oh, this is for you, probably. I don't know who this is. This is for you. Yeah. By the way, stop calling me during the show. I don't appreciate that. Anyway, so I guess. So somebody will bring a box of jelly donuts into the sales meeting. Sales meetings were horrible. They were horrible, horrible things. I've never been a salesperson in my life because I can't sell anything. I just halfway through the presentation, I'd say, I can't continue. This product is stupid. I got to go. Salespeople are a very interesting bunch of mentality involved here because they are just driven to get you to do something. And I take offense when somebody on purpose markets me to make me do something, even when they realize it's something I don't want to do. It's something I don't want to buy. Yeah, but you really do want to buy this because this is why, because this is what the product. I said I'm not interested. What if I took 50% off right now? No, what if I made it free? You mean zero? I can't. These salespeople are, they got to support their family, but it's like, whoa. I'm not saying that you give your soul to the devil, but you're certainly leasing it out. So as a distribution manager, I would have to sit during these sales meetings because I supported the sales staff with the product and the shipping and all that stuff. And I loved my job, and I looked at these salespeople like, oh God, I'm so sorry. Why don't you try the jelly donuts? And the reason that it's difficult to be a salesperson, and I do feel for them, is that no matter how great you are, no matter what kind of excellent performance you've put out for that month, the sales manager will always say, look, congratulations on the great month, but I know you can do better. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? I brought you in $1 million worth of sales here. Yeah, but you can bring me in $2 million. I know you can do it. And I'm disappointed in you for not bringing me $2 million instead of... It's just a horrible, horrible existence. You're never good enough. And that's drilled into your psyche for the rest of your life. You're not good enough. People who do their, I mean, I guess it's a great motivation that everything you do can be done better, so it keeps you going, it keeps you on the journey. But it also says, I think I did a great job, but apparently it's not good enough because I suck. It's awful. It's an awful, awful thing that they put you through. It's a psychological bashing. They praise you, and then they tear you down. Obviously, sales is not for me. I wanted to talk about Tom Brady for just a short period of time. There's a movie coming out that involves him in it. He is the reason for the movie. Apparently, these are 4 ladies who are getting close to their 80-year-old mark, and all they want to do is somehow meet Tom Brady. This is a script for a movie that sounds a bit ridiculous, and it is. Tom, I don't think Tom listens to this show. I don't even think that for a second. I really don't. But I got to tell you, Tom, ever hear the phrase "quit while you're ahead"? As you probably know, this is one of the rare years that the team that Tom Brady is on will not be in the playoffs or going to the Super Bowl or anything like that. And we're defeated shamelessly like a bad sales team. Football players are amazing. No matter how well they do, they put themselves down because it's that sales mentality that they all go through. That's their motivation to be better. It's a horrible thing. Tom Brady loves playing football, but there was a point probably about 3 or 4 years ago when he should have said, I'm going to go out on top. It's a good idea, Tom. Now you're going out on the road downhill. Is your legacy going to be hurt? Not really, because you're too popular, but at the same time, you should have left a little bit earlier. What is he, 75 years old now or 45, whatever? He ruined his marriage because he wouldn't discuss things with his wife. I happen to know that's the reason. Because he was so obsessed with the game of football, he said to his children and supermodel wife, I'm sorry, I'm into footballs. Tom Brady has a $350 million contract with Fox as soon as he leaves the game and becomes a sportscaster. Tom Brady doesn't even really have to do anything. He sits behind a desk where they analyze at halftime, and all he has to do is just sit there and play with his pants, and he's pretty much $350 million. I mean, Tom, I mean, that offer's always on the table. There's no question about that. But Tom, I mean, it's not like, come on, Tom. You love football. You can still talk about football. You don't have to. You know, at your age, a couple of good shots in the head and maybe something in the shoulder, and you're in the hospital bed for the rest of your life. So, Tom, bad decision on your part, Tom. But that's not the funny part. I don't do impressions really at all, but I get into the soul of the person I'm talking about, and I portray it in a dramatic sense. I'd like now to do my impression of Bill Belichick, the coach of the New England Patriots, after they have a losing game, which is now quite frequently. Mac Jones or Mac the Knife or Tom Jones, I don't know how his name is. He's the new quarterback. He acts very depressed because that's what you're supposed to do. And then Bill Belichick, the coach, comes in and he does a little press conference for the local media. And it's funny when they ask Bill, because Bill Belichick has no emotion. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do as a football coach, or whether he was scared by a circus clown when he was younger. But he shows no emotion. He's monotone, and he doesn't even move his eyebrows. I don't think he blinks. I don't understand the man. He's just so focused on nothing. My impression of Bill Belichick when they learned that they were out of the playoffs and their season was over. And the questions, even the questions to Bill, were low and depressing. A reporter said, Bill, are you making plans for next year? And Bill Belichick, with a blank face which resembles the exterior of an egg carton, he responds by saying, it was a very bad year, and all we can do is look at next year and do a better job. We lost the game because we didn't have as many points as the other team did, and I don't know, I suck. I'm going to kill myself. I'm really quite happy right now, but I don't show it. We played the best we could, which obviously wasn't good enough. I take responsibility for everything that happens on the planet, including global warming, I think it's called, or climate, whatever. And I don't really, I love my team. They're great people, but they are losers, as I am. And we know that we have to move the football. If you don't move the football, you don't usually win the football game. We have to move the football forward. We've been moving it backward because we forgot we're supposed to move it forward. We just lost our will to live, and the plays that we were executing, really we should have been executed instead, because we look like a bunch of morons running around the field, because that's really what we are. But we're going to forge ahead somehow by having lobotomies for most of the players that are pretty much all being arrested for domestic abuse or murder. So I don't think this is a good time to discuss anything, because I haven't eaten in 3 weeks, and I really don't know how to chew my food anymore. So this is a problem that apparently I cannot resolve. You can ask me all the questions you want, but I will probably respond in a depressed, very unexcited manner that resembles attending a funeral. I'm proud of the team, not really, but I'll say that I am, and I thank my family for not disowning me under the circumstances, and I really am quite looking forward now to next year, because there's nothing else to look forward to at this point. And I want to apologize to all the fans. I would suggest rooting for a different team at this point, because this is not going to change overnight. I would cash in those stupid football jerseys that you wear, like you're a football player, and you go out in public to a bar and you got a football jersey on. It's really, didn't want to say anything, but it looks stupid. So if you want to wear the uniform of a losing team, go ahead. I'm Bill Belichick. Have a nice, whatever's coming up, winter or whatever. I've lost count of what season we're in. It doesn't really matter anymore. I'm going to have a feeding tube inserted through my chest so that I can ingest food and stay alive for a longer period of time psychologically. Thank you. Bye. Bill Belichick, ladies and gentlemen. That was ridiculous, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't talk sports because I don't know enough about the statistics, the data. I don't know anything about it. I know less about sports than I do social media, and I know nothing about social media at all. The last thing I wanted to talk about today It's something that we all experience. This is what bonds us together. Not much is bonding us together these days, but this does. When you're driving down the street, assuming you're in a car, and you pass a gas station or two, you're probably just frozen to the observation that should be made every time you pass a gas station or pass gas at all. And that is the price of gas. And I'm not talking about that it's high or it's getting lower or anything like that. I'm talking about the stupid pricing structure of a gallon of gas. Right now, I believe gas is around, I don't even know, it depends on when you're watching this, but it's around, for just regular gas, it's $3 and about 89 cents. That's like $3.89. But no, it's $3.89.9. It's $3.89.9%. It's been like that all through your life. But no one questions this stuff. Why is gallons of gas always plus 0.9 cents? What are you doing? You think we're stupid? Because in general we are. So I Googled this on my Google machine, and I found out this goes way back to the 50s and the 40s when they started selling gas, when gas was 10 cents a gallon. Excuse me, Ron? What did you say? There was a time in our history when gas was 10 cents a gallon. I'm serious. I don't believe I was alive at that time or even now. But it was 10 cents a gallon. Okay, so what's this 0.9 cent thing? Where did that come from? Well, the distributors of the gas and the owners of the gas station decided that if they were to raise the gas price by just 1 cent, that would be a 10% increase, and motorists, and there weren't like a billion cars at that point, motorists will probably like revolt and something horrible would happen. So rather than raise the price from 10 cents to 11 cents, they said, no, we'll make it 10 and 0.9 cents. And for some reason, that psychologically worked. People thought, well, there's not really an increase, just 0.9 cents. It's not even a full cent. I don't even know how it could get change. That's when it started. Why was this practice never dropped when gas became very expensive? Why? What's this? The percentage? What's the deal now? Well, tradition again, and the fact that this is merchandising. This is where the gas distributors think that we're stupid, and for the most part, we are. If you're driving down the street and there are two gas stations next to each other, one gas station is $3.89.9 cents. The other gas station is $3.88.9%. You're going to go for the cheaper one. It's a cent. Why aren't there lawsuits? Why can't you go to a gas station and say to the gas attendant, like there ever is one? I think in New Jersey, you can't pump your own gas because they've decided in New Jersey you're too stupid to do that. And they're probably right. So they have gas station attendants. They come out and they pump the gas for you. And why can't you say to the gas station attendant, I want 1 gallon of gas and not a drop over it? Oh. Yeah, and that's $3.89.9 I don't want to drop over it, so you owe me 0.1 cent. Let's have it. Well, I'm sorry, there's no monetary thing developed that comes in tenths of cents. We only have pennies, and even those are ridiculous. Hey, I'm suing you. I'm suing you for $1 million because I asked for a gallon and a gallon only, not anything over a gallon. And you gave me an extra 0.1 cent that I didn't ask for. I want my money back. I think it's about time we started doing this. because the 0.9% is just so damn stupid. And it's never going to end until there's an uprising amongst the people. Now, I know there are many social reasons to uprise, but this is the biggest one. I'm out of time. I'll be back again next week with a brand new show. But until that time arrives, I'm going to wish you peace. Have yourselves a wonderful day.